Hey y'all, my name's Jackie Venson. I'm a singer-songwriter, guitar player from Austin, Texas, and you are watching TMN. So I think the biggest inspiration for just being my own artist, being a songwriter, being a solo artist, I would say Stevie Wonder. And it's not just because his music's excellent, it's also because he has a team of people around him that have worked for him and with him for a really long time. So you can tell that even though he is the face of it and he is the talent, he has an entire support system around him that obviously loves working with him because they've been with him for decades. And I love his entire persona, his entire energy. He's always the spirit of kind of giving back. He's not just take, I want to be famous. He's, I'm very good at what I do and I have a big crowd and I use this platform to speak out about issues sometimes. He's a great example in that way. He's very in touch with where the world is at all times, no matter how old he is, young, doesn't matter. He's always been in touch with the world. And I just really think he's just a 360 degrees of a complete artist. So the best way to keep yourself grounded in community instead of ego is to realize that if you were to try to attempt a career in music completely alone, you're not going to make it. There's absolutely no one on earth who is any amount of success in the music industry who doesn't have a team, who isn't there entirely because not just are they talented, they have a group of people looking out for them, a group of people with separate expertise from them. Maybe they're really good at playing the guitar, but do they know how to build a website? Maybe not. There is not one artist on earth. And also, the more successful the artist, the bigger team they have. So Beyonce is probably one of the most successful artists on the face of the earth right now. I'm pretty sure she has about 1,000 people working for her. 1,000 people. And I don't think that she would be where she is right now had she not had those people working for her, had she not had a team on the process of getting to the point where she is now. There's no one who's ever done it alone. And so it's like, in order to get the fame you want in the first place, you need community. So it almost means like the fame is just a symptom of something greater. The fame is shallow compared to the fulfillment of having a community and a support system around you. And they are just as important as you are. Every challenge that I've faced as an artist, I have only been able to overcome because of my support system. Whether or not it was a team or if it was just my family that's always supported me in music. I would not be here at all had it not been for the people who helped me. I have a neighbor that I grew up with, and she helps me ship my merch out to people when they order my merch from other countries. She does fulfillment for me. I would never be able to do that on my own. And she also is someone I've known my whole life. And so when I was younger, trying to learn how to be who I am right now, she was supporting me then as well. I'd say the number one advice for all hardship is seek out a support system if you don't already have one. And the people that you surround yourself with, you're only as great as the people you surround yourself with. I did at times, I felt as though, I'll tell you this. When I felt the most alone was when I was the most wrapped up in my ego. You only feel alone if you isolate yourself. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the times, egotistical goals will force you to isolate yourself. And that's why I don't consider them worthy. I don't consider an egotistical an ego goal a worthwhile goal, because it's the loneliest path you can take. So we've already made it through the death of mass media. And what I mean by that is, there was a time where humans within a country or within a state or even within a city were all watching or listening to the same 3 channels. If you turn on the radio, everyone in that town only had 3 radio stations to choose from. Same goes for television. That is absolutely not true anymore, and that hasn't been true for 20 years. So mainstream is dead, and it has been. And the only reason why you might think it's still a thing is because there's people at the top with a lot of money and with a lot to lose that are propping up its dead body. Not only is it dead, it's been dead. And there are people trying to fool you into thinking it's not. So the record labels have no power, no money. There's no mass media. The entire power behind a record label was having control over the radio. They could promise you that you would make it in one night because they legitimately had control over all of the methods of exposure. They have zero control over the internet. They don't know how to use the internet. They've never known how to use the internet. You can't control the internet. People do whatever they want to do on the internet at any point. You can't even hope to control it, right? So as long as the internet exists, as long as it continues to exist, mainstream and mass media are completely dead. And anybody who tries to tell you it's not is lying, or they haven't accepted it themselves. She's a perfect example on how mass media is dead and how these big companies are trying to make you believe it's not. So she was always rich. Taylor Swift started out rich. She grew up in the richest part of the town that she lived in. She was born a millionaire because her family and her parents are rich. And so basically what I'm trying to tell you is the illusion that she puts forth that mainstream mass appeal still exists, that is a $20 million illusion. Like, where she is right now involves marketing budgets in the millions, completely inaccessible to almost anybody else. So what I'm trying to say is mainstream media has shrunk down to this teeny tiny thing that if you even want to get in with it, you have to be a millionaire to begin with. So when I'm saying it's dead, I'm saying that like there's less and less people who are able to play that game. They weren't born millionaires, so they can't do it. And also, we are heading in a timeline where people don't really like very uber rich people. We are all waking up to the fact that uber rich people are parasites on society. And all mainstream media does is promote elite, uber rich, over wealthy excess. That's all it does. And I feel like spiritually, we've shifted as humans, and we're just watching that take effect. I'm gonna have to say P-Funk and / Parliament Funkadelic. George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. That's probably my favorite artist from the 70s. Also, like, just like all of their stuff that they did with Eddie Hazel, Maggot Brain and stuff. That is some of the best stuff out of the 70s for me personally. My favorite music from the 80s is like Depeche Mode, Phil Collins, Genesis. 80s electronic rock is just makes me lose my mind in a good way. The 90s, okay, so the 90s was when I started to really, I mean, I was a baby in the 90s, but 90s hip-hop has changed my life. Like 1993 hip-hop. 1993 is the year of so many legendary hip-hop records, you can't even believe it. Like Wu-Tang and so many others. Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, all of them released legendary hip-hop in 1993, that year specifically. And then I also love like the Fugees and Lauryn Hill, and I love 90s hip-hop and 90s R&B. It's some of my favorite stuff ever. 2000s was like the year of songwriter instrument players for me, like the decade of, like, I wanted to get back to like the roots. So I really liked Norah Jones. Like, I loved like the real raw, like real instrument, no electronic influence at all, just raw songwriter. And I really loved early John Mayer. He did some really good stuff in those years. Alicia Keys, that's when she popped up in the 2000s. Alicia Keys is amazing, and she did some incredible stuff that decade. So yeah, that was like the year of the instrument the decade, of the instrument singer-songwriter, I think. Artists of the future. I don't really know, because we don't have mainstream anymore, and everything blends together, so you don't know who pioneered what. So, you know, you say you like this artist because they pioneered this, and you find out that actually this other artist was doing that 10 years before. It's hard to tell now because we're in this like giant melting pot of internet chaos. And so I'm mostly excited by what hip hop's doing right now, and the subgenres being born from like modern hip hop. I've been paying a lot of attention to that.